sure the other courage was nasty.
That was a nasty Gather Courage.
But I mean, even it doesn't. So like the Gather Courage is a huge blowout there.
Correct.
But any removal spell is a huge blowout there. You know.
Oh, it looks like he brought in the negates.
Yeah, that just seems wrong to me.
Yeah, I don't like the negates there either.
Yeah, I don't like the 2-mana removal spells at all.
Yeah.
Like the 2-mana protection spells.
Sure.
I don't like Feat of Resistance. I don't like negate.
Well, the Feat of Resistance is a 1 of main board.
Yeah, I just don't like it in this matchup.
Sure.
I like it in the slower matchups.
Okay.
So like a control deck, I'd play it against them.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'd play it against the Abzan mid-range deck. I probably would just bring in the Johnny's Presence.
Okay.
And play more of those.
Yeah.
Just because Feat is just so slow. It's really hard to hold 2 mana open.
It is.
It's much easier. So, which is to back to your point too of the Fate Reforged card that gives something indestructible and then or kill a guy with 4 toughness or more.
Correct.
Which is why I don't really like that card.
Okay.
Because it costs 2 mana.
Mm-hmm.
If it gave protection, I would play it over Feat.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get away from Feat because it just costs too much mana.
Sure. Okay. So that's understandable, but you don't feel that it gives the blue-white heroic deck access to a removal card that it otherwise would not have? That's kind of a loaded question, because...
Yeah, I think it really depends on the metagame. Okay. So I think if the blue-white heroic deck becomes a large portion of the metagame and you're playing it a lot...
Okay.
I would actually maybe bring them in or replace the Glare of Heresies in the sideboard for them.
Sure.
So that you have another removal spell that acts as a protection spell that kills giant creatures, and that's really all you care about in that matchup. So in that case, I might bring them in there, but in other matchups, I don't want to kill Siege Rhino.
Okay, you just want to get around it.
Yeah, I just want to attack past it. I want to have a giant guy that I can then attack through Siege Rhino. Siege Rhino does become a problem when people go Siege Rhino, and then you're facing 8 points of power and you've lost 6 life.
Yep.
But otherwise, it's just if they have 1 or maybe a late second one.
Yep.
It's just kind of it's good. It's a really good card against the deck, but it's not a card that I'm actively looking to sideboard cards in to deal with. I'm not sideboarding in my Glare of Heresies to deal with Siege Rhino. I don't want to be reactive. I want to be proactive.
Sure. Which makes sense. So that's obviously, okay, good. I think that's a quality answer as to how that card fares. On another note, we get another card that does not remove Stormbreath Dragon, which I kind of think is pretty hilarious. I mean, it's kind of funny.
To be fair, I hope they don't print a card that removes Stormbreath Dragon unless it costs more than 2 mana.
Okay.
Because if they reprint Doomblade, the heroic deck is just a pile of garbage.
It's dead. Yeah, we've talked about that too. We touched on that last week. Is that Doomblade?
The more efficient the removal spells goes,
the worse
the deck is, because the deck is winning on the access that all of the good removal spells in the game or in this metagame right now cost 3 or more mana.
Right.
So you can play cheap 1 mana, 2 mana answers to them and just gain ridiculous amounts of tempo on your opponents and just tempo them out and kill them.
And we haven't seen, surprisingly, a lot of spoilers from Fate Reforged. We've seen the white card.
Yeah, well, that was just on accident. They, you know, Wizards has trouble with their website sometimes, so they accidentally put up Reed Duke's article when they switched over to their new website.
This is true.
New daily MTG.
The other card we saw was the Rug card that kind of gave way to people speculating that the Filter Lands were going to be reprinted, and that was the new Kahn, I think, for the Rug color, the 2 color cards.
Yeah, I don't know what that card does off the top of my head, but I remember when reading it, I'm like, man, this card's pretty good.
I believe I don't know off the top of my head either. I remember the effect is 1 colorless, split blue-red, split blue-red.
Yeah.
When you go into combat, you may take control of an opponent's creature and then attack with it. And I don't even believe the creature herself has to attack. Yeah. You can just go into combat, steal someone's creature, and then attack them with their own creature.
And that seems good.
It seems very good.
I don't want to play against that as Blue-Eyed Heroic.
I don't want to do it.
Creatures?
I believe it does.
Oh,
it's essentially a Traitorous Instinct effect on a body.
Active treason?
Yes, active treason, Traitorous Instinct on a body.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, the spoilers start the Monday after Christmas.
Yes, they should be coming Should be coming to Monday.
Should be interesting.
I'm kind of excited for it. I'm kind of not excited for it. I'm excited for the pre-release. I know that. I always like the pre-releases. What follows is yet to be seen. I have to judge.
I don't know. See, I feel like we're in like a nice, healthy metagame, standard metagame, where there's no oppressive decks.
Yes.
And you can literally play, and I'm saying this, like literally you can play whatever the heck you want to play.
Correct.
Which is really sweet.
Yeah.
And there are just, there's no Mono Black Devotion, there's no Callblade, there's no Jund. You can play Abzan, you can play Heroic, but you can play like so many different flavors of Abzan. It's not just one Abzan. You can play Abzan Reanimator, Abzan Midrange, Abzan Aggro, play Mardu Aggro, Mardu Midrange, Mardu like with Planeswalkers and Control-y, Jeskai Tempo, or Jeskai Burn, tokens, a Jeskai Control deck. Like, that's what's sweet about this format, is you can just play whatever you want. Color decks.
It's Baskin-Robbins standard.
Yeah,
You've got 31 flavors,
There's
baby.
a deck for you, and anybody that says that this standard format just isn't fun, then I don't really know what you're looking for in a standard format. Unless you're a person who likes here's the deck to beat Callblade, Mono Black Devotion, I'm going to build a deck to beat that deck.
I can't imagine Wizards likes a format like that, and I can't imagine that players like a format.
I don't think so. That last format was like that.
It was
Mono Black Devotion,
correct,
and then there were fringe other decks.
There were blue white control
decks, but still there was Mono Black Devotion. It was the best deck.
Play it.
It only got better every time they released an expansion. Sure, you want a black-green land? Sure, Splash Over Replicate to blow up the detention spheres. Oh, Bioblade, Drown in Sorrow, here, deal with the aggro decks.
Yeah, you're right. So. No, it's definitely true. I think the format right now is very healthy, and Wizards kind of plan for new releases and things like that. They've said that they want to try to encourage that healthy format. They don't want to wreck it by making this release big set, here's smaller set. Release big set, here's smaller set. You know what I mean? They're two set plan for blocks.
I still feel like I'm still scared, man. I feel like we're in such a nice place right now.
You don't want it
I don't want them to release a set that has 1-2 powerful cards that just completely warps the format.
Well, they didn't.
I'm afraid, man.
They didn't do good by Commander, but they didn't do bad by Commander. The new Commander releases had Containment Priest.
Yeah.
Not a format breaking card.
Still, but
still very good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can kind of backtrack that. So it's not like Shardless Agent. It's not like True Name Nemesis. It's not.
No.
So maybe they're getting better.
But
maybe
even
you can look
still,
towards that.
True Name Nemesis seemed oppressive.
It did,
and is currently not
very oppressive.
I mean, they made Treasure Cruise. It's
did.
Ancestral Recall.
It is not.
It is.
It kind of
is. You can play 4 Ancestral Recalls in your Legacy deck, but in your Vintage deck, you can only play one legitimate Ancestral Recall, and then 4 other Ancestral Recalls.
Sure. I don't know.
I'm afraid. I remember just Sphinx's Revelation, Supreme Verdict, Abrupt Decay.
Then you need to be happy that you never played the Jund into Callblade into that standard, because that was a standard that I played in. Jund was a deck I loved. You can ask anybody. From back then, because it was king. You just didn't lose games. You were like, Bloodbraid into Blightning, Bloodbraid into Terminus.
The value.
The value is here. Sprouting Thirnax is here. Here's Broodmate Dragon. Answer it or you're dead. And then Callblade was it. So you played Callblade or you played Green Red Valkut with Titans, and those were the 2 decks that you picked. And then it's like, I'm
See, this is why I'm afraid.
Yeah, sure, which is understandable, but I think we're in a better place, and hopefully Wizards is
we're in a happy place. Don't screw it up. Maybe they've learned. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out in a month.
The scariest thing is you should be worried that there was a press release, and this was back when kind of Fate Reforged was announced, that the set was going to revolve around colorless creatures.
That's fine, because they sound terrible. I love it. Release a set where I don't have to buy any of the product, where I can ship all my packs in for,
Conspex.
That's perfectly.
Modern Masters 2 packs.
You want to release a set where every single card is terrible in Standard and only good in EDH? Sign me up.
Dragon's Maze is back!
In this format? Yeah, right. Sign me up. Because this format is awesome.
That's true.
I don't know if I'll say that, after I've played it for an additional 2 months, after they release a set where there's nothing good. I might get a little bored, but
But then you have Legacy to fall back on.
It's true.
And Legacy is
better than Modern.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. So, all right. Well, we'll go on break here. We're going into round 4, right? This was we're going into round 5, so it'll be the final round. So we'll definitely have Max Kahn up against
the other 4-0 if there is one.
That'll be interesting. So we'll definitely have this Abzan aggro list, which was featured last week. Didn't do as great.
No.
Definitely picked it up tonight in a larger tournament. So we'll go out there and check the 4-0 for you, and we'll be right back with live coverage, guys.
So we're back in like 20-ish minutes.
Around there.
Yeah.
Probably sooner. I don't know.